Hello and welcome to this episode of the Daily Space, in which I currently have everything so very confused. You're going to get to watch me set everything up live, and we're setting things up for the new year. Now, I'm not generally going to be coming to you from this crazy space, but on this last day of 2019, I wanted to look ahead to 2020 and show you some of the things that are going on behind the scenes here at CosmoQuest, because we're a lot more than just the daily space. Now, one of the things that I need to do, music is still going. I think I'm okay with the music still going. Let me know if I need to adjust its volume. And I'm about to pop out the chat, which may eat the chat. Now I'm just going to move the chat because the chat does not want to be popped out right now. Let's move the chat over here. There we go. And I have a bunch of random stuff up on screen related to programming that y'all don't need to see. So let's kill that off. And let's kill off that. And I think we are in a better place. So hello and welcome to the Daily Space for today, December 31st, 2019. My name is Dr. Pamela and I am here to put science in your brain. For the past year, we have been bringing you the Daily Space in an evolving way, working to constantly find better ways to bring you the news day after day, taking time off during the holidays, because let's face it, there just isn't a lot of science news going on over the holidays, because even the scientists sometimes take time off. But CosmoQuest is a whole lot more than just the news. We are a place where we want to enable people the ability to do science. We used to be much better at this than we are right now, and the difference is a difference of funding. But we're still here because of you. And we're trying to find ways to, remove the question of who's willing to fund us and replace it with what science can we do as a group of volunteers. Today, on this last day of 2019, I want to look back at where we've been and where we're going, because 2019 has really been a year of change. And that year of change is reflected in the new webpage that I put up last night that really shows that we want you to explore the universe both as, something you can learn about and also something you can help us define new knowledge that other people can learn. So let's step back first and look at where we were on January 1st of this year. Well, we had just lost roughly $2 million a year in funding from NASA. We will never know exactly why that happened. It had to do with politics. It had to do with policy changes. It had to do mostly with politics. But having lost that funding, which had empowered us to put together 3 new citizen science projects a year where we were funding the scientists. We had a large crew of computer scientists. We had educators. We had all of these things that we had put together in a proposal. And that proposal was based on understanding the criteria we would be judged by weren't just how can we best engage people in science, but also how can we engage kids in science? How can we do all these other things that took us away from our core mission? CosmoQuest's core mission is to engage people in learning and doing science. And learning science doesn't have to be lesson plans, unless that's what your funders want. And one of the things that I learned from Fraser Cain a number of years ago, my co-host on Astronomy Cast, the publisher of Universe Today, is Fraser doesn't let himself be beholden to anyone. He makes sure that he has the power to always do what is right rather than what, other people want him to do, because sometimes what is right isn't what people want. I let us get beholden to people. And the result was, when we lost our funding, we had software that had been dictated to us, that had wandered away from our core understanding of, we want things that are driven by what people want in our software, that were driven by how can we keep everything nimble and fast and, well, such that anyone can take our software and install it anywhere they want. We were in a place where we were somewhat proprietary based on the prior institutions that we were at. And all of this took us away from our original goal. And our original goal was to break down all barriers to science. And the second you make anything proprietary, you're adding a barrier. We wanted to be able to invite anyone who wanted to come do science with us, whether they be a scientist who wanted to take our software and run with it, or a citizen who wanted to get involved and help us do new things. Well, for the past year, we have struggled to find our new place, to mourn what we lost. Mourning was a thing. And to figure out how we want to move on. One of the things that made our transition really difficult is the day we lost all of our funding, we were at this horrible point where we'd been working in PHP for a million years, using Laravel for some of those million years. And I was super familiar with the PHP code base, but recognizing that students today learn Python, we'd had a coder transitioning all of our software to Python, which is a language that I can limp through but don't like. And we'd gone from being no framework to suddenly relying on Laravel in one framework, in one code base, and relying on Drupal in another. And it all sucked, and none of it worked right. And we've been fighting ever-growing error files the entire year. But we also had the Bennu mission that we had to get through. So this year we focused on, let's explore Bennu. Let's get this done. Let's nail this sucker. Let's do this the best we can. Let's keep going with traveling, opening doors, seeing what is out there. And at the end of the year, what I've seen is we're really respected for the community that we built. We have one of the best communities in terms of, you guys aren't filled with drama. We kind of love that about you. You guys work your butts off to accomplish impossible feats. You're small, but you're mighty. There's a lot of groups out there that brag about how there are millions of participants. But you guys are here with us day in and day out. You're not a million people that fly by, click once, and move on. You're here day after day. There's 31 of you out there right now. And with this small and mighty group, thank you so much, Keeper of Bits. You're that too. Keeper of Maps for the 1,000 bits for no drama. Because of how well you all work together, we have accomplished mighty things. Thank you, Trekker Kev. Yeah, we've so far managed to be a pretty much drama-free area. The most drama we've gotten is the occasional, when is my package going to arrive in the mail? To which we have to always grovel and hang our heads and say, we're sorry, customs forms take a long time to fill out. I will say everything from the Hangout-a-thon is loaded up in my car and will go to the post office on Thursday when it reopens. Keeper of Maps is a giver of bits. It is true. It is true. So as we move into 2019, we're going to keep doing the daily space. Next week, I'm going to be in Hawaii at the American Astronomical Society meeting, and we're going to be working to bring you all the science that we can. And when I get home, we're going to be transitioning into doing the daily space just as we have been every day that we can, Monday through Friday. Thank you so much, Broken Symmetry. Thank you for the safe journeys. To Trekker Kev, thank you for wishing Trekker Kev safe journeys. So when I get back from that trip, I have a dog that's deeply offended by something in the background. Sorry. We're going to be bringing you the Daily Space most Mondays through Fridays. Yeah, Guido, 2019 is toast like it should be. What is the fundraising amount currently? Okay, let me work on getting that up on screen. Ooh, I'm moving entirely the wrong thing. I want to move this window sideways. No, I don't need to move that window. I need to find Streamlabs. Streamlabs, where are you? As we move into the new year, hello, Malachi. It is okay. It is okay. Malachi just came bursting in. Thank you, Broken Symmetry, for the safe travels to me too. Thank you. I need to log into Streamlabs. We're going to be bringing you the Daily Space most Mondays through Fridays. Thank you, Astro YYZ. Thank you. I'm working on getting the donation goal amount up. We have 2 hours to go. I don't know what time zone this thing is working on. Hold on, and I'll have it on screen for you guys too. I need to add a web page. New web page. Add. Almost there, folks. Almost there. Sorry, you get to see me staring as I try and make sure I get everything set up correctly. I did something weird by accident. There we go. So let me change how that is displaying. So we didn't raise nearly the money that we were hoping to raise. It's okay. We have enough to make payroll for a few months. We're going to keep looking for funding. We're okay. You guys have kept us okay. Am I sad? Yeah. Am I frustrated? I'm going to have to keep begging for money periodically? Yes. But we're okay. A year ago, I didn't know if we were going to be okay. A year ago, I had to lay off a whole bunch of people that I really adore, and all of them have gone on to great new adventures. It's all right. And as we move into the new year, I'm inviting all of you to help make it so that we can keep going and we can make this place about how people, everyday people, accomplish science together. Yeah, it's going to take a few of us running herd, and we're really hoping that you'll support us so that we can get paid to run herd on this. But we're going to take our little small group and we're going to say, we'll bring you the news Monday through Friday as we can when there's news. We're going to bring you launches, landings, other special events as we can. If they're at 4 a.m., we may decide to go to sleep. We're going to be here for you. And I'm going to sit here, and the days that I'm not working on things that include all sorts of server settings, I'm going to live stream my code. I'm going to invite all of you to join me. And those of you who prove yourselves to be coders, I'm going to invite you in to our coders down on Discord. And you can join me on stream audio only, because video starts to take up too much screen, and I like to use the screen for software. We're putting all of our software open source. My goal is a year from now to have a new version of our Citizen Science Builder software, public release. Anyone can use it. And I want to move into a future where instead of having how we do science dictated to us by funders, it's instead dictated to us by the scientists who need specific things out of the software to learn things about our universe, to learn things about other worlds, where our interface is dictated by what you guys say will work better and make it easier for you to accomplish all of the tasks. Thank you, Kevlar, so much for those 300 bits. Thank you. That emote is very disturbing. Very disturbing. Melting unicorn snowman. Just saying. When I first started getting involved, thank you, Kevlar. Thank you so much for the bits. When we first started talking about citizen science, way back in 2008, I had this vision that what we would create, and this was back when I was co-founding Zooniverse, I had this vision that what we would create would be a new version of WordPress for citizen science, where there was the .org site that you go to and you download your software, and you're off and running and doing great things. And you can do it on your own server. Who cares? Thank you so much, Keeper of Maps, for the happy snowman emotes. Thank you, and thank you for all the bits. I think you're Fibonacci seriesing me again. I'm not sure. We never got there. Again, proprietary software was a thing that happened. So what I wanted was to have this publicly released software anyone could use anywhere to launch their citizen science projects. And then we'd have that central place, our CosmoQuest site, where anyone who wanted to be hosted with us, wanted to be part of our specific community, could join in, do science with us. And this year, 2020, is the year we're going to build that. We're starting to find the experts in the computer science field to sit down with us and teach me, an academic who knows how to code, but I'm not a pro the way the folks that, well, get to spend 40 hours a week working with other programmers and learning from other people constantly. Thank you, Nancy, for the bits. Thank you. I'm good, but I don't have an environment that lets me constantly update my skills. I'm behind the times. But I now know some of you are out there. DPI 209 has bailed my butt out more than once. Keeper of Maps has bailed me out more than once. I now know that there are people out there who will teach me things I don't know, who will be here to help. So Astro YYZ asks, will there be a way for non-coding citizen scientists to help with that? Yes. We're going to need people to test. We're going to need people to help us read the documentation and make sure it makes sense. We're going to need people to say, hey, here is the stuff that you need to keep us engaged. Thank you, Bill Nash, for the sub. 15 months. Thank you. And we're going to find ways for everyone to be engaged. We know we need artists. We know we need programmers. We know we need people to test things. We need your ideas on how to invite people in and get more people engaged. We need help figuring out what is the best path forward as we build this nonprofit adventure in making science. When we say citizen science, not something where you have scientists from on high coming in and saying, hey, give me my data, and then walking off into the night. No, we want this to be all of us figuring out how to do everything together. We're going to need statisticians. We need statisticians. We're going to need people with so many different skills. And yeah, our instro can break things real good. He also can get bit by my dog. I don't like that part nearly so much. But this is what we're going to be doing in the coming year. We're going to be asking you to make CosmoQuest the first fully open source, open science site where the public is a major player instead of just a worker bee sitting in the corner churning out data tables. This is your home. And you have allowed me to be one of the chief cat herders around here. And it is only through our collaboration that we can succeed. And I want to see 2020 be the year that we succeed. Now, beyond coding our butts off, beyond sciencing our butts off, our fingertips off, thank you, Eric. Thank you. I'm glad you're here catching things live. Susie's asking, what programming languages are software? It's PHP. So we use a combination of PHP, JavaScript, CSS. It's all HTML5 basically. We have a MariaDB on the back end. And in addition to that, we are also going to be doing machine learning tools, which are by nature in Python. That's step 2. But we're a lamp stack where that P in the lamp stack is PHP. So beyond bringing you the news, beyond bringing you live events, beyond working to create this amazing science place where we do this in the meritocracy that I haven't seen existing anywhere else, where we make that real here. Astro Wise is like, I didn't understand a word of that, but I'm willing to learn. And that's the thing, is I want us all to be learning this together. So we are also hoping that in 2020 we will witness Betelgeuse exploding together. Some of the software I'm hoping to be able to develop is to do observational astronomy. So I'm hoping that we'll be observing together, not just with Bill Nash, but with lots of different people. I too am under 100% cloud cover right now. I have fantasies of someday seeing Betelgeuse while it's faint. Someday. Thank you, Orange for the bits. Thank you so much. Thank you. So Professor Zenos, it's scrolling. Professor Zenos asks, so if I get a degree in web design, does that qualify me to be a programmer for astronomy? Yes, you don't even need the degree. Some of the best programmers I know don't have university degrees. Now, if you're in the process of getting a university degree, get the university degree. It will really help you open doors for yourself early on. If you don't have if you don't have a university degree, you have to prove yourself to be the best. That's hard to do when you don't have a piece of paper unless you start your own business. So, okay. I know so many amazing people who don't have university degrees. I know the path is harder. But either way, I don't care what pieces of paper you have. I care what skills you have. And if you have skills as a web designer, yes, we would love to work with you. What I really need is a JavaScript ninja right now. So Hanny asks, if Betelgeuse explodes, how long will the nebula be visible? At least 1,000 years, and I haven't done the math to figure out how much longer. And yeah, Betelgeuse going boom would break the internet if we were observing it live. Yeah, Bill Nash is like, I don't even have a high school diploma. I can code in 3 different languages and I make your internet go. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Education is what matters, not the little pieces of paper. The little pieces of paper make everything easier for you. They're certificates claiming knowledge, and they're often full of lies. It's what you know. Everyone should be educated. That doesn't mean they necessarily went to a university. So what's our GitHub link? Our GitHub link, we're CosmoQuest team. Hold on, let me find a web browser where I'm logged in as me. Actually, let's not find one where I'm logged in as me. Let's go look at what it looks like on a public page. github.com/CosmoQuest team. I think that's us. Yep. So you can see we have some clustering code. We have some out-of-date stuff I need to make go away. CSB7, this is what we're going to be working on. Is this ability to make open source citizen science. I'm currently working on putting together a wiki where I'm going through and outlining everything we need to be able to do. And I'm going to be working on inviting you to help me make all of this happen. So, yeah. Ed Thomas asks, do you need network engineers? So we exist on Amazon Web Services. Having someone who can help me sort Amazon Web Services, because they keep changing their offerings. And yesterday, I know I felt like I was beating my head against a wall. So that's where we need help, is more on the architecture side of things with Amazon Web Services. And Susie, you're not a bad producer. We have a lot of links, and GitHub isn't your home, so it's okay. It's okay. Our intro is like, non-degree holder confirms the path is harder. Yeah, but you're awesome. Thank you, the Spaceway, for the bits. Thank you. So Professor Zenos is like, I mean, I did Visual Basic and HTML when I was 11. Does that count? The HTML counts. I'm not sure Visual Basic really helps very much, but it opens the door to make everything else easier to learn. And so figure out something you want to do and then just do it. Build a chatbot, build something, and just play. So Keeper Maps is like, drop it in Discord and I will add it to Discord. Okay. I'm going to give you the direct link to the front of the repo. There. Limp Rimble is saying, do you have a website or blog post, etc., describing what you are wanting to develop? Sorry if you mentioned it. My internet is so bad. I'm only getting bits of the video. Oh, I'm so sorry. No, I have a grant proposal. I'm going to I'll write a vision document. I'll make sure all of that goes live. Right now, what I have is the wiki post on the software that we're working on. I'll work on adding a preamble to it that describes our vision, where we're trying to go. Along the way, I'm working on rethinking how CosmoQuest itself looks and functions, because we have a bunch of core content that's constantly getting updated. We have our Daily Space podcast, our 365 Days of Astronomy podcast, which is also daily. We do stuff on Twitch and YouTube. And we haven't really been blogging the way we used to. And so what I need to do is figure out how to make the blog that we have something that highlights all the content we're creating and not just new blog-specific posts. So I want this to be a complete rethink, to figure out how do we build something that allows people to get the answers to the questions they have quickly and efficiently. My phone just exploded. Why is my phone currently exploding? Like, literally, I just got 10 messages simultaneously in fast order. Okay, so I got a whole bunch of information about my phone upgrade. All right, thank you, AT&T. Before going to Hawaii, my husband and I upgraded our phones so that they would actually work while we're there. The HR department does like little pieces of paper. This is true. This is true. Looking to see what other questions we have in here. Thank you, everyone who's out there. Yeah, Bill makes the correct comment that chatbots are a great way to learn. I learned so much about how not to code things because I ended up creating a perfectly reasonable chatbot that required me to keep a web page open forever. Mistakes were made. So the Gym Doctor says, I've never had to produce paper to prove academic claims. A casual poll has shown that neither have my friends or relations. It really depends on what field you work in. The last multiple places I've worked have required a transcript from my university. Transcripts cost money, so that's super annoying. It all depends on what field you go into, though. I work in academia. Some people have had to produce them when they got jobs at various engineering companies early in their career. It's later in your career that all that stuff sort of falls by the side. Astro YYZ says, New Year's resolution is to do more visual observing. My scope is collecting way too much dust. I feel you. I feel you. Mine's collecting dog hair fur bunnies around its feet. So Eric writes, I really need to learn how to code. My son and I were just talking about that. Well, come learn with us. I'm going to be hopefully making it easier for people to learn to code by doing it all out loud here on stream. There are going to be days where I'm coding fast and dirty, and it's like, I know I need to go back and fix all this stuff, but I just want to get this idea out. Because sometimes coding is like about revising later, because you just need to get shit done. Other days we're going to be going in and re-architecting things to make it be done right. Looking to see. Keeper of maps, mops, bits, and mitts. You forgot the mitts. He keeps lots of things. He keeps so many things. It is true. Looking to see what else is in here. Catching up on chat. So Nancy writes, as a non-programming electrical engineer tech writer who's learned several programming languages in college, it is more important to know and understand the process of programming than it is to know the syntax of any language. This is entirely true. And one of the cool things that I've found over the years is, just like in human speech, there are different syntactical families. So from listening to people who speak Spanish and Portuguese go back and forth, sort of kind of able to understand each other in frightening ways, and people who speak French and Italian struggle by, these are families of languages that share a whole lot of vocabulary. And if you know one, it's easier, not easy, but it's easier to learn the others. Now, knowing Italian is not going to help you with Chinese. That's a completely different family of languages. There are these different families. Because I speak Russian, I can understand bits and pieces of Polish. Now, with computer languages, you have the same issue. There are families of languages. I'm really good at the family of languages that are C, C++, PHP. And this is one syntactical family. Other languages like Python make me want to roll my eyes because they're just different. But you can still learn how to do them. And the logic is the same. It's just a grammar, and you just need to figure out what are the things that connect the words in these different grammars. Looking to see what else is in here. Arnster's like, I learned Excel by doing. Yes, this is how you learn so many different things. And one of the things that I found working with computer science students is in class they learn how to write to specific tasks and black boxes, and their code has to match in with this. But they don't necessarily learn the how to problem solve, the here's the problem, and no one's going to tell me anything about what the solution is. It's in learning how to innovate from the very beginning point without being given a beginning point that is sometimes the hardest thing. And it's the thing that you figure out just by doing. It's the difference between learning to sew from a pattern and learning how to create patterns. Looking to see what else is in here. We are, you. I totally agree with you, Susie Murph. They are the best audience ever. So my initials are PG. Everything has to allow PG, because otherwise you're banning me. That was a really bad pun. I failed completely. So Professor Zenos writes, an app that allows you to easily and quickly update it, since it's just a shell for an HTML5 page for a search bar, and a side menu where you can watch all the different things or visit the partner sites and such in a simple little package. I'd need more specifications than that, because so far I'm not seeing it in my head, but I'm always open to ideas. Sometimes I'm going to ask for more words. looking to see what else is in here. Oh, Professor Zenos asks, what about Ruby? Have you tried that one? Yeah. So people who use Ruby and Ruby on Rails are very evangelical and very passionate about the community of Ruby. And if you're a grouchy, grumpy Gen Xer like me and you start hearing people talk about their software as a religion, you just kind of roll your eyes and sit in the corner and crank your code out and look for projects in a different language where people are less happy about their language. Ruby is a way of life. It's really weird. The language itself is fine. I have nothing against the language. The community is just very cheerful. Very cheerful. Susie's like, I learn everything by Pamela saying, can you do this? Yeah, I kind of like, hey, self-organize, go do these things. I have the best staff ever, and they put up with a lot. So Lukey, LQQKEYG, I'm not sure how you want that pronounced, asks, do you think that people can sue SpaceX for the eyesore they're putting into space? No. They didn't break any laws. You have to have a law broken to be able to sue somebody. And Starlink is one of those things I have so many mixed emotions about, because there's no good way to get internet to rural areas and remote areas around our planet except by satellite. The only cost-effective way to do it by satellite is with a constellation of low Earth satellites that don't need to have a lot of power to be able to send and receive effectively. So that means a whole lot of really low orbiting CanSats, which is exactly what Elon Musk is doing with Starlink. So the question becomes, do we want to maintain the digital divide? Do we want to keep dividing the world into people who are bound up in an in-person cash economy because where they are, they don't have sufficient internet access to participate in everything else? Or do we want to break down that barrier and say the world is an open market for learning, for doing, for sharing, for buying, for selling? Do we want to make it so that we can buy handmade art from Papua New Guinea, from a tribe working off of their satellite cell connections to sell us things we only dreamed of in the past, while allowing them to get better educations, allowing them to raise up their people and maintain their culture? Starlink makes all those things potentially possible if they succeed. I don't know if they're going to succeed. Now, at the same time, it makes doing science so much harder. It's going to require longer time on telescope for every set of observations you make, because you're going to need to have more observations to subtract out all those satellites. It's going to make science harder. It's going to make the sky look really weird. It's going to be more like Coruscant than what we're used to here on Earth. So I have really mixed emotions. I want to lift up the world. I want to see what becomes possible when everyone is given equal access to information. But I also want the sky. So it's a brave new world, and we get to rebuild it. And the question is, do we allow everyone in? And I want to. I just wish we could do it in a less streaky way. Okay, let's see what else is in the chat. Anyone still using Forth to control their telescopes? No. Wow. Bill Nash says that he'd be down to stream some Python Twitch chatbot development if there's interest. That would be super cool. I would watch that. Looking to see what else is in the chat. So Keeper of Maps, when you say you might be able to add mobile support through a WordPress theme, Who and what are you talking about specifically? So the reason that we haven't historically, if you're talking about CosmoQuest itself, allowed our citizen science projects to be done on mobile devices is because there would have been people out there trying to mark the rocks on Bennu on a cell phone. And that's just not good science. You need to have a certain physical size to the pixels before you can do good science. Bigger is better when it comes to computer monitors and image annotation. So we don't allow mobile. Now, we do want to develop projects that are mobile specific, things where we have people validating data, where they're just looking a crater at a time and stuff. We're just not there yet. So Larry writes, you may know about the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction in the coming year. Yes. I think it's next December or February, and those are two very different months. I don't remember when. There's going to be a point in time next year when, so February, I believe, is when Mars passes behind the moon. So it will literally get eclipsed by the dark side of the moon. So you have the bright sliver or crescent, you have the dark gibbous part. So it may be possible to see Earth glow and Mars all in one tightly focused image, just as Mars gets ready to dip behind the moon. I believe in December, Jupiter and Saturn are going to be 1/5 a lunar diameter apart. This means with your standard 8-inch telescope and something like a 20 millimeter Plaza lens, you should be able to get a really cool view of both worlds simultaneously with all of their moons in a tangled overlapping mess. 2020 is going to have some cool sky events. Looking to see what else is in here. So Prof. Zenos is commenting that they would need to draw up an actual app in their head to make sense of things. Yeah, or one of the things that I find really helps for the way my brain functions is I'll open up something like PowerPoint, Keynote, Google Slides, where it has all the drawing shapes, and I'll just rearrange things on the screen because it's so easy to show and reveal, and that software you probably already have. Keeper Maps points out, Starlink will make it possible to have more low-cost remote telescopes. It's true. So Henny's Vorverb asks, I wonder what uncontacted tribes will think. And here it's what they will think of these new objects in their sky. So I don't think there's any tribes that are truly uncontacted anymore. There are tribes that know about the rest of humanity, but don't have direct ongoing conversations, communications, especially on some of the Indonesian islands. But they've at least seen airplanes and people in helicopters and boats in the distance. They're just not part of modern life because we have let them continue to live in their cultures, but without educating them about medicine and so many other things. And this is something where, again, I have such mixed feelings, because by allowing these people to maintain their millennia-old traditions, we are also denying them medicine. And I don't understand why we can't essentially have technological missionaries that go into these communities and work from a point of respect to help these communities transition into being part of our modern society while maintaining their traditions. One of the things that has caused so many cultures to be lost was originally contact always included religious domination, where missionaries would go into communities, create a written language while teaching the story of their religion of choice, which was normally Christianity. Now imagine if instead you went into a community and you simply learned their language, learned their ways, and then slowly but surely taught them medicine to gain trust, and then worked your way forward to integrate these societies, as we hope aliens coming to Earth with warp speed technologies might someday do with us. Anyways, that's a different problem. It's a different story, a different show. Looking to see what else is in the chat. We do need regulation, Astro YYZ. Yeah. So Keeper of Maps writes, CosmoQuest, someone else had mentioned something about a mobile app to follow all the CosmoQuest stuff. I think that was the impetus for your comment. I'm referring to Keeper of Maps comment. Okay. Yeah, I really do need to come up with just like an alert system of some sort. Things to think on. Looking to see what else is in here. So Prof. Zenos is like, ooh, what about on TV? Make like a PS4, Xbox app for citizen science on a gaming system, since usually nerdy science gamer people have a decent TV. Things to aspire to. I think we need to take baby steps. I think that's an awesome idea. And this is the thing about opening everything up to be open source, is I hear that and I'm like, oh shit, I don't want to code that. I don't even own, and well, I think my husband owns an Xbox. I've just never used the Xbox. And so I hear these things and I'm like, I have no idea where to start. That probably requires paying a licensing fee to Xbox or something. But there's people out there in this community who look at that and are like, oh yeah, that's easy to do. Code. So by opening up everything, we can say, yeah, that's a cool idea. I have no idea how to do it. Go find a friend. Go show us how you do that. So Hanny's Reverb is commenting, I think I saw a planet on top of the moon a couple of days ago. Yes, so lined up on the sky, the moon and Venus were right next to each other a couple of days ago. Limp Rimble is like, porting to portable devices allows citizen science while in the toilet. This is true. There's just only some tasks that people should do while sitting in certain places. I think validating creator data is valid. So Bill Nash is like, I'm going to be doing a boatload of astrophotography in 2020. I'm going to do a boatload of coding and learn how to do astrophotography in 2020. Yeah, so that I don't always apologize for my images. I'm currently at the state of, like, I know the theory of astrophotography. I know the theory really well, but I always apologize because I don't have the practice to actually feel like I know what I'm doing. It's the difference between, like, watching YouTube videos on how to juggle and actually learning how to juggle. I'm at the watching YouTube videos and trying a couple of times and breaking everything. So Guido points out, I've been calling for at least tablet support for programs for a long time, but it's not easy to accomplish. It would be great to get more people on board, though. Yeah, and like I said, it's just been an issue of we need so much visual acuity on the tasks that we've been doing. We're getting to the point that we do have tablets out there that are big enough that this should work. We just need to figure out how to get the touch accuracy. So if we could write an app that required people to use an Apple Pencil, that would be super specific, but I'd feel good about the accuracy. It's really hard to touch and drag accurately with your fingertip. I want to do this. And again, open source means that while I can say it's the bottom of my priority list, there's other people who can make it the top of theirs. We just need to find those people that will have solutions better than the ones that I'm thinking about, that will know how to make it so that stuff works well on a mobile device. This conversation is like finding a Bronze Age tribe on an island in the game of Civilization. Yeah, Bill Nash, sometimes our real world isn't too different from a game. So I was right, Jupiter-Saturn is December 21st. They're going to be separated by 6 arc minutes. That's kind of amazing. Like, my binoculars have a 7-degree field of view. So 6 arc minutes will be even tiny and close in my binoculars. Thank you, Ruffsmat. Thank you. And Hanny's Warburb, I agree. Many of those tribes really do not want contact, and that you have to respect. Oh, Venus is going to be in the Pleiades in April 3rd. That's cool. Hi. Hello, I have a dog. Hi there. Hi. Do you want something, sir? This is Eddie. He's a bit pushy sometimes. So Keeper of Maps is pointing out AWS could drive an alert system for an app we can talk. And I also think just writing a good API is something that needs to happen. And as I write code and invite others to help me write code, I'm really hoping to do things as API-based services. Looking. Those with really good eyesight could see the moon and Venus had phases. Can you really see by eye, no matter how good your eyes are, that Venus has phases? I didn't know that was a thing. Scrolling. Happy New Year! I agree. Solstice time, that is when that conjunction will be. Yeah, 2021 or 12/20/21, December of 2020 on the 21st day. Should be right around solstice. Hello, Mike Cassidy, welcome. Yes, Eddie has to sometimes make his appearance. Do I remember watching the 1997 planetary alignment? So in 1997, I was a graduate student. I remember being grouchy in my parents' kitchen. Unfortunately, that is all I remember about it. I seem to remember it caused an argument about statistics. Keeper of Maps is like, Eddie knows there have been bits and thus should have been treats. I'm looking to see if I can give them treats. Hi! 2 Australian Shepherd heads just bounced up behind me. Hi! Okay, let me see if I can get doggos. Hi! That's a bit much. Come here. Okay, Eddie's just gonna get on camera. There, Malachi is off camera being polite, because that's what Malachi does. Hi! You're so good, so good. Hi. My doggos. So I wish I lived on a mountaintop near Alpine, Texas. What's the downside of that location? So the only downside to Alpine, Texas out in West Texas is it is starting to get a little bit of light pollution, and it's not as high in elevation. Elevation is not a word. It's not as high in elevation as you might want for a lot of astronomy. Our atmosphere has water in it, humidity, and that produces lines in the atmosphere that block out infrared light. And the more atmosphere you look through, the more blurring it has on your images. So you get more light in certain colors by getting above the water. And you just get better images in general by getting above as much of the atmosphere as possible. General alpine's fine. Looking to see. So people can see them, Arinstra. That's amazing. I didn't know that. So I knew about a good eye test being able to separate the 2 stars of Albireo. And some people with really good eyes could apparently see the moon, one of the moons of Jupiter. But yeah. Looking through for questions. Altivation should be a word. Yes, it totally should be a word. I agree. Shakespeare would use it. It is true. So Larry points out, oh, the West Texas had the darkest sky in the continental U.S. previously. Damn progress. It may still be the darkest skies. It's just not as dark as it used to be. We actually saw lights encroaching during my time in graduate school. So, humanity marches forward. We are working our way towards building Coruscant. It's a Star Wars reference. But for now, we still have some darkness. So go out and enjoy it while you can. Yeah, Sully, 2 cats. Other than astronomy, there isn't much else to do in West Texas, which does help with the dark skies. Lots of cattle. Lots of cattle. So I've now been blathering for an hour. It is New Year's Eve. We are almost done with this dumpster fire of 2019. Unfortunately, Australia is still on fire. Tell the people you love that you love them. Make the next year one of building community and doing things to leave the world better than you found it. And let's try and build a place together where we can make science, where we can increase science literacy, make more baby nerds, which might be 50-year-old individuals just encountering science for the first time. They're still baby nerds. They haven't watched all the movies yet. Let's go do more awesome things. Mike Cassidy's like, I go to sleep by 10:30 on New Year's Eve. Well, that helps get to the new year faster. So I am going to go make myself some lunch. I'm going to clean up a little bit because we have some people coming over to play board games this evening, hopefully. And ring in the new year with awesomeness. We're not going to be here tomorrow. We will be back on Thursday and Friday, bringing you some spacecraft updates. It'll be Annie working from material that our volunteer, R. Instro, has graciously put together for us. We may have a stream tonight of Annie working to build Legos. She has a kit to do a Lego orrery. And beyond that, let's make it an amazing new world together. One scientific software piece, one scientific fact learned, one new shared moment of collaboration after another. Now, I feel I need to say, because it requires to be said, don't drink and drive. Be safe, everyone. And go out and, well, have a fabulous morning, evening, or afternoon, wherever you may be in the world. And I'll see you in the new year, everyone. Bye-bye.